Hey there, guys. How are you? This is Heart of Inspiration, Dr. Lisa Brewer. And as you all probably know already, I'm a doctor of metaphysics and divinity, so I cannot write you a prescription, but I can recommend a really good crystal. And you know what else I can do for you? I can talk to you about Mercury Retrograde. Now, I titled this The Gaslight is Real for this Mercury Retrograde that we are about to enter into come August the 4th. So, excuse me, August the 5th, 4th, 5th through the 28th. So basically, the entire month of August is going to be spent in Mercury retrograde. Now, if you've already been feeling like it's Mercury retrograde up until now, there's a good reason for that. It has been in shadow since my birthday, July 16th. So, what that means is it's kind of like it's preparing when a planet is in shadow to either go retrograde or then go back direct. It's preparing to do its thing. It's kind of sending you little bits and bobs of information and energy to get you ready for what you have to take on during this retrograde period. So it is not shocking to me to see what's happening in our world since the 16th or right before then up until now and what's going to continue to happen in our world. The first thing I'm going to tell you is this, though. Okay, beloved? Just remember that it's gaslighting. Okay, so just remember that if you are recalling hearing, seeing some events, having someone have told you something, a month or two ago, or maybe even 4 or 5 months ago, or even last year, and you vividly, clearly recall it, it probably happened. So don't let them gaslight you now. And I'm talking about in every area of your life. This can be personal, this can be professional, this can be on the world stage. I don't care where it is. Don't let them gaslight you. Now, if you don't really know, because gaslighting, that terminology has been tossed around. Anyway, I was going to say something really kind of not nice, but anyway, it's been tossed around. Okay. It is kind of that word has become a 304. Okay. So let me explain to you what true gaslighting means. It is when someone says to you, this thing didn't happen the way that you said that you remember it happening. In fact, it happened a completely different opposite way. You're misremembering, you don't know, da 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 da, and now you're overreacting and you're taking it too far. That's the best way that I can really explain gaslighting. Basically, someone's trying to make you feel like you crazy. And we see this at every turn. That's what gets me. Like, we are literally seeing this at every turn in our lives. I mean, I have had people personally say things to me in my personal life that I'm like, this was not how it went down. Stop playing with me. Stop playing in my face. You know good and gosh darn well. You didn't say nothing like that 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever. You know good and gosh darn well you came out your body, you crashed out, or whatever the case is, and now all of a sudden, oh no, I didn't do any of that. I don't understand why you're upset. I never said this. Well, I definitely didn't mean it like that. No, I didn't attack your character. No, I didn't try to sabotage your project. No, I didn't try to throw you under the bus. Stop gaslighting and stop playing the victim. Okay? Another way people can gaslight inadvertently is when you make these grand assumptions about stuff. Like, you just let your mind run free and then just start saying stuff out your mouth that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You don't really understand what's going on. Like, this to me, this shadow period, well, Mercury has been kind of going through, while Mercury has been going through Leo, it just now recently has entered. So it's going through um, Cancer and then Leo. So I'm going to show you some because, Mercury, if you guys don't know, it only takes 87 days to get around the sun. So it's hippity skippity, it's going twice as, well, not twice, half as fast as the moon. So the moon spends about 2 to 2.5 days in every sign every month, right? Because it takes 28 days to get around, between new moon cycle to new moon cycle. So Mercury takes 87 days to get around. So that's almost 3 times. So it takes 3 times as long. So it's going to spend 5 to 6 days in a sign at a time. Okay. Except when it goes retrograde, it just seems like it takes forever to get back straight. So I'm going to show something to you. We're just going to look at the chart really, really super quick. I'm not going to make this a whole lengthy situation, but I want to show this to you. So look, Mercury here is right here. It's in Virgo right now at the time of this recording, but it's fairly stationary, right? It's not going to get too much further into Virgo. This is the 29th when I'm recording this, so it's not going to get too much further into Virgo before it starts going and backpedaling back. So on August the 4th, it's August 4th, 5th, it's going to start going back this way, and it's going to ingress back into Leo. Now, all the Mercury retrogrades for 2024 have been happening in fire signs. What does this really tell you about the 2024 Mercury retrogrades? It's all about your passions. It's all about your purposes. It's all about everything that motivates you. It's really like things that really mean a lot to you, thoughts, patterns, and things that probably should mean more to you than they do. So if you've not been taking yourself seriously and your dreams, your aspirations, and all of that, these Mercury retrogrades are giving you these opportunities to say, well, hey, wait a minute. Like maybe I should be taking this seriously. The last one that we had over here in Aries really was about taking yourself, like, what is it you really want to do? Forget what everybody else wants you to do. What is it that's going to make you happy and that's going to motivate you the most? I think that happened back in April. I'll check and make sure. But anyway, what's going to motivate you the most? What's going to keep you going? Now, this one is in Leo. Let me tell you something about what this one is going to be all about. This one here is going to be about loyalty. This one here is going to be about, are you loyal to yourself? Who's loyal to you? Who should you be operating with that's going to assist you in your creativity, that's going to support you, that's going to honor you, that's going to stand by you 5,555%. That's what this is about. This is about you looking at people's stuff. That's why I said the gaslight is real, because you're going to run into people in the month of August that's literally going to be saying, oh, well, I was there for you. Don't you remember how I was there for you? Don't you remember I did XYZ LMNOP? You're going to be like, what? No. And we even seen this on a national stage. People just like saying, well, no, I didn't do that. That wasn't my title. That wasn't my this. That wasn't my that. I didn't really do that. Y'all ain't known me all this time. Stop the cap. If there is anything that I could, like any mantra, any saying I could have for this retrograde season, it's going to be stop the cap. And I'm not going to allow people to rewrite history to their own benefit and make me think that I've gone crazy. So this is all about that. This is all, again, about what makes you happy. And how are you going to move forward now, not really paying attention to, or should I say, putting stock in what's going on in the outside world, but who are you going to have in your bubble that is going to be loyal and supportive? How are you going to renew your sense of creativity? How are you going to do what it is you truly love to do? Because the very interesting thing about this retrograde is that Mercury and Venus are going to come conjunct again, and they're going to come conjunct again in Leo. Now, when it made its pass through the first time and it came conjunct with Venus, that was an opportunity for us to wake up and say, oh, this is what I've always wanted to do. Now, Venus takes about 200. Venus is going to take almost 200, about 100 and some 200 days to get around the sun, right? So it's a little less time than Earth. So we see it kind of loop-de-loop around. But that was a moment in time where you were supposed to spark your creativity. So if a few weeks back you were just like, oh my God, this is like the most amazing idea I've ever had, and I really want to dedicate a lot of things to this. This is also going to be about loyalty to self. Like, when are you going to, and I feel like a broken record sometimes, but when are you going to finally step in and say, you know what, this is for me? Like, I'm not saying don't take care of your family, don't, you know what I'm saying, and all that, your loved ones, whatever, and don't like be supportive of your friends and your community. But what I am saying is time for you to say, this is what's super important to me. Everybody else is getting for them. Why am I the only one that's not being loyal to myself? Why am I the only one that's not taking care of myself? There's another astrologer on YouTube, Cam White. Shout out to Cam White. And he's been talking about this. And from his perspective, he's like, you know what to do. Like, the time is now. You know what you're supposed to be doing. So I'm just going to take a shot, a page out of his book, and I'm going to say the same thing. You've been knowing what to do. You've been knowing what is the right move. You've been knowing what's the next thing. And yeah, have you probably flown off the handle a little bit too often? Maybe. You might have done a few things that you were just like, you know what, I'm really sick and tired of you, and I'm going to put you in your place. It is what it is. And would have been a lot of what would have happened as Mercury was coming through Cancer, like us really evaluating how we think about the things that are most dear to us, how we think about how we're taking care of ourselves, our living conditions, the structure upon which we're building, generational wealth. That's a very nurturing. How are we nurturing ourselves? This was that time, when Mercury was kind of coming through coming through Cancer. That's what we were discussing, really contemplating then. As it's coming back through, though, Leo, I want you to really be thinking about who do you need in your corner to create the life that you have always wanted? Because when this goes back this way, you have better have gathered up your group. You have better figured out, okay, this is what I need. This is the support I need. These are the areas that I need to allow myself to be much more creative. These are the people that I need to kind of maybe sideline and push off a little bit. Thought patterns, paradigms, belief systems. Like, we keep going through this over and over again. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. You're at a point now where if you haven't begun to change your belief systems up until this point, and you haven't begun to shift your paradigms, you're probably finding it very difficult to navigate this world right now, because everything that you thus far felt is truth and that you've built your life upon, you're just like, wait a minute, it's all being shaken and this doesn't serve me anymore. I thought it was going to. Like, we have to let these things go in order to allow ourselves to be much more creative and free. A free thinker does not depend on the world around that free thinker to determine what my thoughts are going to be. Is it possible? Should we have mentorship and should we have guidance? Absolutely. I'm not saying that. I have mentors, I have guides, I have friends that I talk to. I have all sorts of people. I'm not saying don't get any type of guidance or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is this: if you're allowing all of this to control every aspect of your being, if you can't make a move unless you hear from such and such a so and so, That's a problem. You're not a free thinker. If you are just kind of getting into this group think of, well, this is the only way to do something, or this is the only way to look at something, and you've not gone outside yourself and activated your own creativity and your own thought process and had your own agency and been loyal to yourself, you're going to start having a lot more problems, because you're not going to be able to then, you're going to fall into the gaslight a lot quicker. You're going to fall into the falsity a lot faster. You're going to fall for the psyop a lot quicker. I'm saying investigate everything. Even when I have a very, like, okay, I really think that this is true. I really think that this is the way I should go. Do you know what? There's always a 15 to 20% over here sitting over here going, but I need to investigate that, just to confirm. And if it turns out that it doesn't confirm, then I'm releasing it. I'm like, oh, wait, now I've got to rethink it. So, what is this time period going to really mean for us, right? What do we really need to be doing, and what do we really need to be watching out for during this time period? Okay, let's be real. First of all, this is your time, even though it is in retrograde, to take the moments to reanalyze, restructure, renew your commitments to what is the most important to you. This is your time to look for ways to assist in your creativity, to exalt yourself, your capabilities, to really, this is belief in self time. Okay, belief in self time. That's what this is all about. Okay. This is also not the time. I would be very careful with travel during this time period. Like, I'm literally supposed to be traveling at the end of this. I would be very, very careful. Okay. Now, Venus is going to be entering Virgo at the same time that Mercury's coming back this way. So I apologize. My days are a little off. So it's going to meet up in Virgo, and then it's going to go back. Venus in Virgo is a happy camper. And Venus in Virgo is really all about, like, it is about like those healthy structures, right? In mind, body, spirit, soul. So make sure that, and especially now with Mercury going to retrograde, this is a time for you to really take stock in your mental wellness and make that a priority. Again, the gaslight is real, so don't let them gaslight you. Okay? This is really a time for you to eat healthy. I want you to eat more green leafy. I want you to eat things that are going to feed your mind. Okay? Feed your mind, not stuff that's going to weigh you down. This isn't a time really for a lot of like comfort, like don't sit here and eat the pint of ice cream, right? That's not the time. Okay? So, and this is also not the time for you to just go crazy pants on like, what's the worst case scenario that can happen, and Like, be aware of what's happening, but this is like, question literally everything. This is also time to start to get some good sleep. Okay? Get some good rest. Manage your time well. Look at everything that you're doing right now and make sure that what you're doing, the effort and the energy you're putting into everything in your life, that it's moving you forward, that it's moving you closer to your goal. If it is not, I want you to look at it like, really like look at it objectively. If it's not, then it's time to rethink it and switch. It's time to say, well, what's going to, right? And you can come up with a good creative way. And then as we're coming out of Mercury retrograde, great time for that. Okay. Great time for that. Now, also, I want you to remember, I'm just looking at my notes. I'm so sorry. Um, that this is also a time for us to like dig in and fortify our will, our drive, our courage, our ambition. This is not a time to be a shrinking wallflower. Because what we do right here, you have to remember, like the year officially started in March. So the energetic year, right? So March, April, May, June, March, into March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So we're technically like in the second quarter still of the energetic year. What you're doing right now is going to set the tone for your third quarter, physical fourth quarter, and that physical, yeah, and then set big time the tone for the energetic fourth quarter, which is the first quarter to everybody else, like that January to March. So if we want to finish the energetic year strong, we really need to take stock in what we're doing right now. Because what's coming is winter. Winter is coming. And winter is this kind of really rejuvenation period for us. By winter time, our plans should be in place and we should be just kind of moving forward, doing a little guidance, but not a whole lot of like real huge things. So be sure that you're in alignment. Be sure that you're moving towards alignment. Be sure that what you're expressing and you're showing out to the world matches and is aligned with what's inside. This is the time for you to take action or reconsidering the manner in which we're taking action towards our desires. Is it an alignment? Is it moving us forward to our goal? Okay. Is it? And because all of these retrogrades and Mercury retrogrades, because they're all happening in fire signs, they're connecting deeply with Chiron in Aries. So this is the time period where it's like, you know what? I know that this has been my Achilles heel for all this time, but guess what? I am not going to allow it to be so. I am not going to allow it, right, to take over everything. I am not going to allow it to overrun my life and guide my life. And I'm not going to continue to self-sabotage. I'm going to take the wisdom of those things that I have learned and those things that I know before have been the Achilles heel. And now I'm going to apply it now with the knowledge that I have now. You have a very unique time to operate with the knowledge that you know now that you wished you knew back then. Okay? So this is not a time for you to sit down and cry and whine and what have you. You know, I'm not one for not I'm one for still initiating things during a Mercury retrograde. I know a lot of people aren't, but I don't, grass isn't growing beneath my feet. So I can assess something really quickly and then pivot. And I don't feel like we have a lot of time to take things and be like overly contemplative. I'm not saying making snap decisions, but I want you to evaluate things rather quickly, right? Go deep dive in it, reevaluate them quickly, and then move forward. All right. Thanks so much for being with me. I hope this has helped. Leave me a comment. Let me know, what do you think? What are you going to be rethinking during this Mercury retrograde time period? What do you feel like you need some support in? Like, hopefully the community, we can help support you. There's also links down in my description below. If one of those things you've been wanting to do is become an entrepreneur and help other people transform their lives, you can book a free call with me down there. And then also there's places for you guys to get readings if that's what you would like to do as well. All right, gang. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys so much. Namaste. Bye.